What do you say? What do you know? Welcome back to episode 2 of the Bubcast. Hope you all had a great week. We are ready to rock and roll with week 1 previews. Week 0 is in the books in college football, so that is crazy. Well, not really, because this Thursday we got big games. So, looking into some great matchups this week. We'll go ahead and talk about some stuff that happened on Saturday. Notre Dame looked good. Notre Dame played Navy out in Dublin. Didn't catch much of that game, but Navy looked good. Notre Dame looked good. Notre Dame won like 45-3, so they looked good. So that was good for that. I went 2-5, so yeah, it wasn't the greatest. USC didn't cover. Notre Dame covered, and then Louisiana Tech covered, and I had them, so I was 2 for 5. We got games on Thursday coming up. We got some games coming up Thursday. U.S. playing Utah. That's my upset. And Hawaii looked good. Hawaii went to Vandy, and Hawaii lost by 7. They were supposed to lose by 17 or more, which is great. So that's great for Hawaii. They're going through it right now, so that's a great a great play for them. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into it. So what we're gonna go over is we're just gonna go over week 1. We have some games Thursday, and I already uploaded all my picks for that game. So if you're already seeing all those, it'll be on our Twitter. So all those updates on Thursday, August 31st games, it'll be on my Twitter, our Twitter. We're going to talk about week 1. That'll start next week. So we're doing FBS and top 25. So I have FBS and top 25. I also just put both of those predictions on Twitter. I'm going to try to go through all the games. It's a lot. FBS alone has probably 30, 40 games. In the top 25, I'll go over a few of the good, tough matchups. So we'll go ahead and just start with FBS. I want to be well-rounded. I want to talk about FBS and top 25 because, there's some FBS schools out there that want to get some stuff. So we got Howard in Eastern Michigan. I got Eastern Michigan. I'm just going to run through these. It's week 1. I don't have a lot of knowledge, prior knowledge to all these games. I'm kind of just picking, guessing, as you can say. So once the season gets rolling, there'll be more in-depth conversation. But for now, I'm just going to go through nice and slow, give you guys who I have, and then we'll go through my record each week. So like I said, I'm 2-5 from the first 7 games that happened on Saturday. And we will see what my record is for FBS. We'll do FBS and we'll do top 25. So Howard in Eastern Michigan. I have Eastern Michigan. Central Michigan versus Michigan State. I got Michigan State at minus 14.5. This is a good one. Miami of Ohio and Miami in Florida are playing. I have Miami, obviously, in Florida, minus 16. Louisville versus Georgia Tech. I got Louisville minus 7.5. Missouri State versus Kansas. I got Kansas. Stanford and Hawaii. I have Hawaii at plus 4. I think Hawaii, they got to travel for this game. It's going to be a long game for them to travel, but I think they're going to hold their own. I think this is going to be a good one. So Hawaii at plus 4. Let me Ball State versus Kentucky. I got UK at minus 26.5. Bowling Green versus Liberty. I have Bowling Green at plus 10. Fresno State and Purdue. Fresno State could beat Purdue. Right now, Purdue is a 4-point favorite. Don't be surprised if Fresno State beats Purdue or makes it interesting, but I'm taking Purdue at minus 4. Louisiana Tech, SMU minus 2. Northern Illinois versus BC. I got Boston College at minus 9.5. Long Island versus Ohio. I'm taking Ohio. Go Bobcats. I don't even know what Long Island is. Who's their team? Not to cause any confrontation. Robert Morris versus Air Force. I'm going Air Force. Shout out Uncle Dean. Eastern Tennessee State and Jacksonville State. Let's go Jacksonville State. They won this past week. I didn't pick them, so let's pick them this week. Northern Iowa versus Iowa State. Money line. So if I just say the team name, it's the money line because there's no line out for these games, and there's not going to be much. And if it is a line, it's going to be a brutal one. So Akron versus Temple. I have Temple at minus 9.5. UMass and Auburn. I have Auburn at minus 36.5. That's a big spread. Townsend at Maryland. I have Maryland money line. USF Go Bulls versus Western Kentucky. I got WKU at minus 11.5. Bubcast is trying to go to USF Bama September 23rd or 4th week of the year. We're going to get a tailgate set up. We're trying to have a big event. I'm gonna bring the camera, do some interviews, get some really sick footage of Bama USF. So stay tuned for that. Woolford and Pitt. I got Pitt. Eastern Kentucky. I got versus Cincinnati. I got Cincy. Garner Webb versus App State. Let's go App State. Shout out Luke Combs. Western Carolina versus Arkansas. I got Arkansas. Southeastern Louisiana versus Mississippi State. Mississippi State. Cal versus North Texas. I got Cal at -7. Cal's gonna have a rough year, but I don't think North Texas is gonna beat them. North Texas comes out of the Conference USA, so we'll see how that goes. Colgate versus Syracuse. Let's go Syracuse. Bryant versus UNLV. I got UNLV. South Carolina versus Charlotte. I got Charlotte. I'm sorry. South Carolina State versus Charlotte. I have Charlotte. Monmouth versus FAU. FAU. Keep it in the state. The Cytel versus Georgia Southern. I have Georgia Southern, but I'm going to change it because I have a few friends that go to the Cytel. I'm probably butchering the pronunciation. Citadel? Citadel. I got Citadel. Let me line it up with that. Bucknell versus James Madison. Let me go James Madison. Albany versus Marshall. We are Marshall. Best decision ever. Nevada versus USC. USC at -3.5 for sure. Alabama A&M at Vandy. Vandy didn't look good against Hawaii, so they're not going to lose that Alabama A&M, but let's go Vandy. Washington State, Colorado State. I got Washington State. Texas State at Baylor. I have Baylor at -26.5. University of Texas San Antonio versus Houston. I have that game as a 1-point window, and I'm taking UTSA -1. So why not? I mean, either way, you can really go either way with that because that's not going to be a 1-point game. So it's going to be a good game though. Central Arkansas versus Oklahoma State, OSU. Bethune Cookman. These FBS schools, I want to shout them love. I want to, be able to pronounce their names and show them some love. I'm a top 25 guy, but I gotta put them on there and get them on the thing. Alcorn State versus Southern Miss. I got Southern Miss. Stephen F. Austin, a great basketball school, always in the tournament. I got versus Troy. I'll take Troy. Toledo versus Illinois. I have Illinois at -9.5. Texas Tech versus Wyoming. Texas Tech at -14. Northwestern State and Louisiana. I have the Louisiana money line. ODU versus Virginia Tech. I have Virginia Tech at -16. Western Illinois versus New Mexico State. I think I already said that. San Diego State versus. Sorry, it's hard to read. I'm trying to read it. Sam Houston versus BYU. I have BYU -20. I have UCLA beating Coastal Carolina at -14.5, and I have Louisiana, New Mexico State, University, San Diego State winning money line, and then I have Rutgers at -6.5 beating Northwestern. It was kind of rapid fire, going over all the FBS schools that are playing in week 1. A lot of schools, as you know, but I want to be well rounded. I want to talk about everything. I want to give shout outs to schools. I had one of my viewers say, "Hey, I appreciate you talking about North Carolina AT." So no worries. I want to get out and get everyone out. So that's kind of what we have there. So let's go ahead. And then we got about 25, top 25. So that's what we're looking at here. Let's go break it down to the top 25. So we've got some, it's not a big slate of games week 1, but we've got some games that are worth the watch. So we got Georgia versus UT Martin, Georgia money line. We got Michigan ECU, Michigan at -36.0, -36.0. Loser. I don't see anyone in the top 10 losing. There's no game matchups right now that have it at anything crazy at the moment. So we're just gonna roll with all the normal operations. We're not gonna take any upsets at the moment. I'll have a couple minor upsets at -2, -3, that kind of stuff. But I'm looking at just straight down the board, winner, chicken dinner. Ohio State, Indiana, I got OSU -30. Bama at Middle Tennessee, I got Bama at -39. USC and Nevada, I have USC at -38. That's probably going to bite me in the keister because USC didn't cover against the game they had last week, and I'm already losing yesterday actually, their opponent. Their defense did not look good. Caleb Williams had 4 touchdowns and threw for almost upper 380 yards, but they didn't look good. Their defense didn't look good. So San Jose State, excuse me. San Jose State. They looked good against San Jose. San Jose State looked good against USC's defense, so we'll go there. Penn State versus WVU. Penn State at 20.5. I don't think WVU's gonna have a good year this year. They're gonna be bottom in the Big 12. Clemson Duke, that's a Monday night one. That's gonna be a good game. I got Clemson at minus 12.5. I really want to go against Clemson, but I don't know if Duke is those ACA team that's gonna really bring it and make it hard for them. So Washington Boise State, I got Washington at minus 14.5. Texas and Rice, Texas minus 35.5. Texas is gonna look good, and then we'll see their true test when they play Bama. So Tennessee versus Virginia, I got Tennessee at minus 20.5. Looking forward to seeing what Tennessee's quarterback does this year. They got some guys returning. I'm looking forward to see what they can do. I'm excited for them. I like that school. When they won last year, playing Bama and the whole city and everything else, it was great. So Notre Dame at Tennessee State, Notre Dame money line. Utah versus Baylor. I wrote the wrong team. I don't think Utah is playing Baylor, so we'll skip that one. Oregon versus Portland, San Antonio, Oregon line. Kansas State University, it's Southeastern Missouri State, Kansas City money line. Again, this episode 2 is week 1, not high-end matchups, but when we start getting into the deeper matchups that have stronger conversation and see what it kind of goes from, we'll kind of go from there. So be patient, just kind of take these out. Keep contact, keep the numbers on how many I get right, how many I get wrong. We can kind of go from there. You can kind of shout me out on Twitter, tweet at me saying you can't pick correctly, and we'll see what kind of numbers I get. TCU versus Colorado, TCU minus 221. TCU's going to blow them out of the water. Colorado's probably going to have 2-3 wins. I know it's a hot take, I know they have a whole new team, but the way he went about the way about the coach went about certain things. Oregon State versus San Jose State, we get Oregon State at minus 16.5. Wisconsin versus Buffalo, Wisconsin minus 28.5. Oklahoma versus Arkansas State, minus 35. North Carolina versus South Carolina, great game. That is going to be so much fun to watch. I spent some time in South Carolina and watched how their fans treat South Carolina Gamecock football, and it's a vibe. So I'm taking South Carolina at plus 2.5. Looking forward to that game. I'm thinking that South Carolina is going to upset North Carolina. Ole Miss versus Mercer, Ole Miss money line. Texas A&M versus New Mexico A&M. I got Texas A&M minus 38. Tulane at South Alabama, upset. I have South Alabama at plus 6. Tulane was a 6-point favorite. Let me get South Alabama for the upset. That's one of my one of my 3 upsets. So let me get South Alabama over Tulane, and Iowa over Utah State at minus 25.5. So I went through a lot of games and discussed what I thought was going to happen. I said I just put 50 games for FBS, which is probably a lot to, in a podcast, pay attention to, write down quickly. So if you got to rewatch it, pause. ESPN has these scores. Hit scores week 1, click the arrow and hit FBS, and it'll show you all the scores, and you can kind of keep track and kind of just watch some games. They're not really televised, but it's cool to know what's going on in the FBS. So I know I gave you a lot of information for FBS and a lot of top 25, for week 1. But we have kind of just the games are there. There's no barn burners. Utah and Florida play, which is going to be great on Thursday. Thursday? Yeah, Thursday. I'm sorry. I'm shooting weeks in advance, so I already shot week 0, quote unquote, and now I'm on week 1. So we'll have more to talk about as the season progresses. As we get deeper into the college football season, I will have more information about games that are just, instead of just winner, pick the dinner type of thing. Next week, I'm going to be doing a combo episode. It's going to be a big episode for us. I'm going to be doing NFL preview and NCAA week 2, So, big episode next week. We got, once NFL and college football start going, and I got those 2 things to talk about, episodes are going to be longer, more content, more material. I'm looking to go to Bucks games. I'm looking to go to USF football games. Looking to go out and tailgate and get content for the YouTube channel. That's not just me sitting here. So once the games, just be patient with me. I appreciate the views and the shout outs and the subscribe, but be patient. Once we get deeper into the season and I have more to talk about and more to go over with more in depth, we'll get going as the season progresses. So that's what we have going on with Top 25 week 1 and FBS week 1. Like I said, I'm 2 for 5 after yesterday's 7 games. Watching in Dublin, Ireland, Navy and Notre Dame. It was a little cool vibe. I saw some highlights. It was a cool little vibe. People were enjoying it, and Notre Dame just came out and just blew out. It was like 30 something to nothing at halftime, so it wasn't a game, but it was a cool little scenario, and it was nice that those 2 played. FSU goes to Ireland next year. I'm not sure who they're playing, but FSU goes there. like I said, appreciate all the follows, subscriptions, likes, our Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff. Normally is on a whiteboard next to me, or right here, but I had to use it for the 600 scores I was going to predict. So if you need to know what our Instagram and everything else is, it's all been posted on Twitter. The Bubcast, the Bubcast official, the Bubcast underscore, all those three are jumped in, so figure it out. Appreciate the likes and the follows. I submitted all this stuff to Twitter. I submitted scores for week 1, and I'm going to upload this episode tonight, and then look forward to episode 3, NFL season preview. I'm going to pick all the division winners. I'm going to pick Super Bowl, pick MVP, pick all the major awards, pick my Super Bowl champion, pick some records. I think I'm going to go through and give each team a record. So look out for episode 3 next week. So this, it was, episode 2. Smaller little episode, like I said, we're in week 1, so we're not really in the nitty gritty of sports just yet. I'm looking at getting more knowledge and everything else about podcasts and everything else. So keep supporting me. I appreciate it. We'll have more to talk about. But yeah, thanks. This is episode 2. It's probably a shorter one, but like I said, I'm just trying to get stuff out there, post, see what sticks. Be patient with me, ride the whole season with me, because like I said, as the college football season gets started, more games are going to be more knowledgeable, and I'm going to start talking about more in depth, other than just saying A versus B, winner is blah, blah, blah. And NFL is going to start up, and that's going to give me even double the content. I'm going to give you fantasy knowledge. I just found out I'm drafting first in my last fantasy league. I picked the most correct preseason games for the last week. First pick, probably going to go Justin Jefferson, spoiler. But I'm going to go on some fantasy stuff. I'm looking to get guests on my show, so keep it going. Like I said, we're just kind of throwing some plain vanilla videos out there, looking to see what sticks. And then I'm looking to get people on here to talk sports. Once college football and NFL are rolling, there's going to be content out the wazoo. Please just keep supporting this and me. Appreciate everybody. Let's go over Cheek Spun's trash of the week. So as you know, I live in Tampa. The Rays played the Yankees. I'm not a Yankee hater, but like when Yankees do Yankee things, I start to get upset. So today they threw it a Roy's Arena, Roy's Arena. I'm butchering that. And they've been hit 12 times, the Rays, in the series from last year. So last year up to now, they've been hit 12 times, and 2 Yankee players have been hit. So benches cleared a couple times. So my Cheek Spun's trash of episode 2 was the New York Yankees. So I know it's going to probably cause a lot of unfollowers and unsubscribes, but nah, New York Yankees get Cheek Spun's trash of week 2. So again, thank you for all your patience. Stay with me. We are going to get some great content out as the season progresses. I'm going to get better at this. I'm going to manage my time, get more in-depth information. So I appreciate y'all. Remember, I'm 2-5. Let's see what I do. I submitted top 25 week 1 and FBS week 1 on Twitter with my predictions. If you didn't catch my predictions, you can backtrack to the beginning of the video and follow us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Hit like and subscribe. Appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day.